And it looks like everyone's here. So, hey, hello and welcome to today's media availability with Class of 22 Hall of Fame inductee, Tony Oliva. My name is John Shostakofsky. I'm Vice President of Communications and Education here at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. On Sunday, July 24th, Tony will be inducted into the Hall of Fame with the induction ceremony beginning at 1:30 p.m. Eastern and will be free and open to fans as well as broadcast live on MLB Network. This is the last of our 3 conference calls with Class of 22 inductees. And please note that these calls are being recorded and video links will be posted to the Baseball Hall of Fame's website in the next few hours. That's baseballhall.org. And with that, Tony, thank you for joining us, and we're ready to take some questions from the call participants. So if you'd like to ask a question of Tony Oliva, please click reactions at the bottom of your screen and then click the raise hand button. And the first question will come from, we will go with David Venn. David, you can unmute yourself.
Hey, Tony, congratulations on being elected to the Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Dave.
A few minutes ago, Jim Cott was talking about the success of the team in the 60s and the early 70s, and he was talking about the Cuban talent that you guys had on the team. Can you talk about the talent of your fellow countrymen on those teams and how that came to be and the scouting that went into that, how they got to Minnesota?
Well, that was the opportunity I have to sign with Minnesota Twins because of the scout from Minnesota, Twin York Cambria. He signed many Cubans, and those Cubans was very success here in the United States, and especially for Minnesota Twins. That Sergio Versalles was here, Camilo Pascual, Julio Beque, P. Ramos, Valdivieso. When I arrived here to Minnesota, I remember Jim Cott told me, "Hey, not feeling bad about you will feel like home because we have one third of the ball club as a Cuban," and I was so happy to be able to be here with Minnesota Twins because making me feel like home. And those days I don't speak one word in English, and they take care of me. They babysitted me. I think it was very nice, all those Cubans.
Thanks, Tony.
And next up, we have Betsy Helfin. Betsy, you can unmute yourself.
Hey, Tony, congratulations. I was just wondering what it means for you to have your brother there and what kind of going through that process of getting him there was like for you.
Well, I was very happy, at least to see one of my family, my member, to be here, from Cuba. My brother played for the Cuban national team for many years, too. He was a great ball player, and he was the little one. I remember when he was about 7 years old, he used to throw me batting practice. You say, well, Tony alive because 7 years old. Hey, those 7 years old kids in Cuba, they can do it. And he and my other brother, 9 years old, Reynaldo, who live here in the United States, that was my batting practice body. And we have a great time. But I was very, very happy to see him be able to come to the United States and be able to be here. A lot of people have to work very hard to make sure he be able to be here.
Next question will come from Do-Hyung Park. You can unmute yourself.
Hey, Tony, congratulations. When you first came over from Cuba, and like you said, you didn't speak English when you came over, but for the last 6 decades, you have become the face of almost one of the faces of the Minnesota Twins. How long did it take for Minnesota to feel like home for you, and kind of what helped Minnesota grow to be your home and make you feel comfortable and grow to treat this as your home?
Well, right away, I came here in 1961, my first time. I don't speak any English, but I know the difference between here and the other part of the country I was playing for a little bit. But about 1964, when was my first 4 years here in Minnesota, and the people here was very nice to me. I know all over the United States, the people being very nice, but here, the people here in Minnesota is special for me. That was something different. I feel like home from the beginning. Here in Minnesota, the organization, the team, my teammate, they have a whole bunch of Cuban in the ball club. And I get to be very good friend with Sergio Versalles. He was like my brother, and Julio Becker, and Camilo Pascual and P. Ram. All those guys live here in Minnesota. They stay here, and they were Cuban. And they helped me a lot because from those days, I don't speak too much English. Yeah, I meet a young lady from South Dakota who live here in Minnesota. I went to school here, and and I stay here in Minnesota, and the people here was wonderful. This is my family, here in the United States. I think this is I say my home where I grew up and born was Cuba, but my second home is Minnesota. That was the people here. And the owner, the ball club, everybody is my big family.
Next question will come from Robert Grayson. Robert, you can unmute yourself. Robert, are you there?
Yes.
Well, it looks like we're going to move on for now. We will go to Tyler Kepner. Tyler, you can go ahead.
Hi, Tony. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, I wanted to ask you, what made those Twins teams so good?
Tyler, we're having trouble hearing you, I believe. I'll come back to you in just a moment, okay? Let's try.
In the late 60s up through 1970, you obviously, you had a good run there, series against Baltimore. What made that team so tough to beat?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that question, please?
No. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just wanted to ask about the great Twins teams that you played on in the 60s and early 70s. What made those teams so difficult to beat? Why were those teams so good?
Well, those teams were so good because we have a great ball players, and we as play together. When you have guys like Hammond, Clive in the team, Sergio Versalles, Camilo, Pascual, Mocha Grimes, Oro Bares, Kechi, later we got Cesar Tovar, Rod Carew. Those things, this is not only that he home run, we hit average, too, high averages, Rod Carew, Cesar Tovar, Clive. And those days, he hit a home run for 2 or 3 people. He hit 48, 49 home run every year. And Bobby Allison. And you have a good pitcher, Jim Carter, Jim Perry, and we have a good team. And the other thing, those days, you remember everybody in the league, they have a good team. It was 10-team league, and about at least 6 or 7 those teams was very, very competitive team. But a lot of times they're scared to face the Minnesota Twins because of the Bobby Allison, Clive Brew, and the Mitchell, and Oro Bares. Those guys can hit the ball out of the ballpark anytime.
Thanks, Tony.
Next question will come from Gordon Eads. Gordon, you can go right ahead.
Congratulations, Tony.
Thank you.
You waited a long time. I want to take you back to 1961 in Whiteville, Virginia. And I wonder, Tony, how important is it for the young players of today and maybe even the fans of today to know the struggles and the challenges and the discrimination you faced when you first came to this country? And what can we learn from all of that?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. First of all, First of all, I think your personal attitude is very, very important. Those ball players today, they know how to, they got it made. I think they got it made because they know how to face that stuff. That was tough for us, but if you have the right attitude, you know what you have to do for survival, and like for me, I come from Cuba. Yeah, I know every country have his own thing, and every state, that is different. I come here to play baseball. Yeah, I was able to do it. But right now, those kids, they don't have to experience that because everything is there for them. I like when you come here, you don't have to worry about where you're going to eat. You don't have to worry about where you're going to stay, all that stuff. If you complain, it's because you want to complain because everything not gonna be perfect, never gonna be perfect. But I think it was very tough for us in those days because the way sometimes that we had to go to do the stuff we had to do, like all in the Korea when the place where we had to stay, sometimes we don't stay together with the same ball club. But this was only in the manual league. This thing happened during the springtime in the big league, but we stay in different hotels. We had to go in different restaurants to eat. But that was the system. In those days, now everything changed for 100% for the best. I hope the people understand that. Sometimes the people say, no, it's the same. No, it's not the same. The players today, they got it made. It's a piece of cake in how compared while we play. It's a big difference.
Tony, if I may follow up with one question. As long as you've waited, there's another great Cuban player who's still waiting, and Louis Tiant. And I wonder what your relationship is like with Louis, how you regard him as a player, and what kind of success you had against him when you did face him.
Well, I tell one thing, I tell the people that Luis Tiant, he should be in the Hall of Fame long time ago. And Luis Tiant, for me, and for a lot of the people who know baseball, he was in the first top pitchers in American League in the 60s and the 70s. The first 5 years, 5 or 6 years of his career, he played in Cleveland. Cleveland have a good defense team and good pitching stuff, but they don't have too much hitting in those days. Still, he won 20 games. He pitched a nice shut-up games in one season, from 162 or 63 era. I think he was the one of the best pitching in the American League. Everybody knows that. Now I don't know why they keep it so long. He been waiting, and I hope the next time around he got a chance to get to the Hall of Fame, because hey, sooner or later I think he going to the Hall of Fame. But it's so nice to be in the Hall of Fame while you're alive, that you can go and say thank you to the people. This is the only what the people want, like a ball player. We're not expected to be in the Hall of Fame. I play in the big league. I was lucky to play in the big league. I want to play the game, but I don't know how far I go to the game. But if you was that good like him, and was in the top 2, 3 pitch in the American League for a long time, he should get the same opportunity the other people have.
Thank you, Tony.
And we're going to try again with Robert Grayson. Robert, go ahead.
Yes. Do you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Yes. Congratulations.
Thank
Tony,
you.
I wanted to ask you, do you think the role of the DH is more important today, now that it's in both leagues? And also, what do you think about the hitters today? Do you think they are as patient as they were in your day and age?
Well, you see, I believe it that the DH rule is great now. I think it's better than ever because now it's in both league, it's equal. And before the National League and American League, they not agree on the same stuff. But the DH rule, I think they help big time in both leagues and help a lot of ball players like me, a lot of ball players like Ortiz, who go to Hall of Fame right now. A lot of, Paul Molitor, he was able to play long time and more because of the DH. The other way, because he got hurt a lot, and when the DH come out, he got a chance to play more. And they give it a chance. I like some other ball players, I like Killebrew, and Hank Aaron play a little bit. All this, all good ball player was able to play a little bit longer. DH is hard, especially for the young hitters, because as a young player you want to play in the field, but if you don't have a chance to play in the field because of the manager or somebody not like you defense, but you can be good hitter as a DH. They give you, I think it's great. They have the opportunity, and DH I think is a great thing for both things, for both leagues.
And one other question, if I could. A lot of technology today. Would you be using that if you were hitting today? I mean, do you need that? You didn't seem to need any of that.
Well, I think that the knowledge, everything technology, everything is people. Something. The knowledge is great, but I think about the old-fashioned players, like me. If you want to be a better hitter or a good hitter, you have to do the same thing you do it before. It's like go to school. Hit baseball and play baseball is the same thing to go to school. You have to go to school and learn how to do everything. And baseball right now, as now the ball player, they focus most of the time on technology because this is what they're teaching them, do that and do that. And they show their films every day, and they talk about the hitting, and they talk about the pitch every day. But I think the more you talk, the more you see film, and the more this thing, I think you get some confused because you don't let your brain to work. You see so many times when guys from 3-2, or they have 2 strikes, and they throw a Cuban sandwich. I say Cuban sandwich is a fast ball right there in the middle, and they take a strike 3. Or the ball is very close to the plate, and they think it's a ball, and they no swing. I know they take a more walk right now, but they struck out a lot more right now than before too, because many guys take a 1 pitch, take a 2 pitches, sometimes 2 balls on a strike, and that was the count for the hit it, and they throw a pitch right there in the middle of the play, and they take it. I see that every day from everybody. I said sometimes you see some pitchers, some hitters that don't believe in that, and they a little bit more aggressive, and they have better average.
Thank you.
And we have time for just a couple more. Next up will be John Kikis. Go right ahead and ask your question.
Hi, Tony. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What's it going to be like to go in with Jim Cat?
Oh, I think it'll be great, man, because I met Jim Cat in 1961. My first time I met him, we play in St. Petersburg in the rookie league together. Already he was in the big league here for Minnesota Twins. But in those days, in the instruction league, a lot of guys who needed some extra work, he can go to the instruction league. They give you the opportunity to play there. And Camilo Pascual, not Camilo, Pete Ramos was there the same years. And Jim Cat was there the same years. And he saw me when I started. Still, we laugh about sometimes we talk about because I was I was a good hitter. I can hit the ball, but I have a hard time to catch the ball. I just remember those days. I think it's something gonna be special to be able to go with Jim Kaat into the Hall of Fame after over 60 years that we know each other and we were teammates.
Thank you.
And our last question is going to come from Bradford Doolittle. Go right ahead, Bradford.
Good morning, Tony. Congratulations.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you.
You were talking a little bit about growing up and learning the game in Cuba, and you'll be going into the Hall the same day as Minnie Minoso. What do you remember about him, just his influence on young players from your era in Cuba, and what does it mean to you to be going into the Hall with him?
I think for me, it's a great opportunity. I wish he's still here. This is where he can celebrate together. Because really, I never think I go to the Hall of Fame. You know, like as a kid and that, I was thinking maybe to play baseball in Cuba if somebody give me the opportunity. But I remember when I was a little kid, listening the Cuban Winter Baseball League. Yeah, we listened to Cuban game and listen about Minnie Minoso in the radio. I never saw him play in Cuba. When by the time coming here and get to the big league, he was, in '63, he was his last year. But Minnie Minoso was everything in baseball. I remember they got a song about him in Cuba, and his attitude. Yeah, the more I see what he achieved in baseball and his attitude and the chance to have it to spend some time with him later in Miami and this thing when we used to get together for Cuban all time again and that. Yeah, so his attitude was some kind of, perfect, nice, I think it remind me like Minoso, like the Jackie Robinson of Latin America, because he was a great ball player. He make a lot of style. He put a lot of number. He should be in the Hall of Fame long time ago. But in both leagues, he can make in the black league, in the negro league, and the white league. You know what I mean, Cooperstown. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame for a long time. The number was there. His attitude was there. He was people who everybody look after him. I think that when you have a guy like that caliber, like Minoso or Jackie Robinson or somebody like that, I don't think they were good only for black people or Latino people. The players, sometimes they're jealous about the other players. They are like to look at how you play the game, how you hit, how you run, how you hustle. This is what they are like to do. Doesn't matter if it's a black player or white player. The only thing, if you're black, okay, people say the black player, but you influence the black player and the white players because they want to take your job and you want to take this job. It's a battle, but he got a beautiful attitude. He all the time speaks beautiful about everybody. He never said nothing negative. I think it's beautiful. And I know the era he played was tough. The era I played was tough. I don't think you will see that kind of baseball no more because everything is more different right now. Right now, you're not getting slide in second place hard. If you run, suppose you're not going to break a door play anymore. And in home play, you don't can plow the catch. The pitches, in those days, they just hunted you, they throw it to you. And on this day, you don't can do that. I think that kind of the baseball, I don't think you'll be able to see. Right now, you will see a different kind of baseball. There will be a lot of hustle, a lot of everything. But we will enjoy it. Baseball, I think, is the best. It's the best game. You have to play 19 and you have to, get 27 out to win the game. And that was the beauty in the game. They change a little bit for the best.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank
and
you.
that I'm going to say thank you so much for joining us, Tony, and everyone on this call. We look forward to celebrating your exceptional career during the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, which is taking place in just a couple weekends, Sunday, July 24th, right here in Cooperstown. This concludes the media availability schedule with class of 22 inductees. Hey, we look forward to seeing everyone here at the induction ceremony on July 24th. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Record.